Hello everyone, welcome to the episode number 5 of coding session trading signals. At this episode I'm going to try to fix the problem that I had with the trading bot that was emitting the signals, that was crashing in the end and having a lot of issues when running in preparation for a test where I'm going to run both bots at the same time without breakpoints and without stopping them. So let's dive into the code and see what was the problem there. Okay, so here we are again with our demo bot workspace. So let's check out the code. We have the network running and we will run this one, the task server number 1, that as you can see here, it was executing. This is the result of the latest execution. It was executing and then it crashed here. Okay, so let's check why it's crashing and then let's check why all this is failing so that we can have a clean run, and after that test that all signals are broadcasted and all signals are received on the end. Okay, so how do we do this? Okay, here it says cannot read property continuous of undefined. So let's see where is this. Continuous of undefined. So sorry, conditions of undefined. So it seems that the trading system at some point in time is undefined, which is really very strange. It's very strange because the trading system should be defined here, and I have no idea what is undefined, but probably it's not a good idea to look for this crash condition without resolving everything that happened before, because that might be a consequence of all this stuff happening. Okay, so this is a case. This is a case in which a strategy is running and producing errors at every cycle. We are running a strategy that is running through 1 day and on candles of 1 minute, so it means that it will run 1,000 times. So what does it says here? Rate value undefined. This is the node name. Initial value 0. Okay, the first thing that I have in mind, remember that we got this strategy. This is the lightning strike strategy. Okay, originally we clone it from the plugin and put it in here. But for this strategy to run, it needs certain parameters to be here certain parameters to be here. This is something that I don't need it to be linked. Well, I can see a problem here because there is no balance. Well, I don't know if it is a problem or not. Okay, the balance is in there. Then probably the time range is not good. Okay, yes, the time range is good. And we check the time frame. Okay, the time frame is not good because this strategy is meant to be run at 1 minute. Okay, so I will put 1 minute. And I'm also going to fix it here. This is something that I fixed it before, but it's still referencing a node. It shouldn't reference anything. Okay, let's see if this is the problem that we were having. I will run this again. We are running the task. We are linking the task to the rest of the UI and the platform itself. Okay. And now we are going to run the trading bot. So there it goes. Okay, it fixed the problem. Now it's going to iterate probably 1,000 times, 1,440 times. That is the number of minutes in a day. So it's going to send God knows how many signals. At some point we will not need this login anymore. But this looks like it's running now. Running this backtest, even if it is 1 day, inside the IDE of Visual Studio Code is really order of magnitude slower than running it outside of Visual Studio Code. But anyway, we will let it run. We'll give some time until it's finished. There is a way to know what is going on. If you configure here the heartbeats and you put candle index in true, then you should be able to see here each of the candles that are being processed. We are activating this just as a curiosity. Of course, it's not going to happen until I run it again. I have no idea how far is this going, but there's nothing I can do now. I just have to wait. I'm going to go to the Visual Studio Code of number 2, task server number 2. And probably we'll remove the breakpoints that we have from the previous session. So that it doesn't really stop. I just want it to run. It's really very slow when running inside the IDE. So what's going on now is that we are running 1 day backtest, and for every candle we are emitting some signals. Not in every candle all signals, but for sure some signals for every candle, because we put signals almost everywhere in the strategy, in every formula, in every single event. Another thing I can do is to stop this and just to run it like normally outside. If it takes more time, I will probably stop it. Yeah, it's taking too long. So we're just going to stop this, and let me find this. I'm going to cancel this process and run the platform with no browser. I'm going to run the same task. There's also another thing. I had the network now running, but not the second task. Okay. This is what we'll do. We'll keep the network now running here, and we are going to run this task outside the debugging environment. So, oh my god, almost impossible to run this here. Okay. So one is running. The second one should be running. Yes, the second one is running and connected. And so now so let's do the final test directly. So my guess is that for testing this, I will run first the node receiving the signals, the bot, and it's going to be trying to take the position. What is going to happen, because this is a back test, this is not live trading. If it were live trading and I ran the receiving bot, then it wouldn't do anything until I run the one emitting the signals. It wouldn't ever trigger on. But because this is a back test, it's not going to work if I run it first, because it's going to go all through the candles of the day of the back test without noticing that there are any signals at all. So this is going to finish without ever realizing that there are signals. So I cannot do the test like that. So just going to run it as before. First the one emitting the signals, and all the signals are going to be there. I guess it's going to be difficult to test this in backtest mode, but let's run this guy to see what's going on. So this runs, as you can see, because of the parameter we put, is processing candle 23, 24. We can run this guy also now. My guess is something is wrong, because it shouldn't. This should go really, really very fast, this number. But there is some operation that is really heavy. I don't know if it is the sign-in, verification, the network. On the other side, this guy finished instantly. As you can see here, just finished. Oh no, it's in candle 42, so it's stuck there. Wow, this is not going to be easy. So let's check the console. What is this message? So this one got stuck and the other one is running, but very, very slowly. So I'm wondering why. Because now it's running outside the IDE. I'm just not going to let it finish and check out the chart to see if at least the execution was completed well. 1440 should be the amount of candles. Okay, so this guy finished. This guy got stuck here. Okay, we're going to turn off this task. Okay, so let's check this out. What do we have here? Here it says like and strike backtesting session. Like and strike backtesting session. There's a problem that all the two strategies are called lightning strike. So I'm not sure these charts they're not showing anything also, which is kind of not a good sign. Yeah, definitely something is broken here. I cannot have access to any of this stuff, any of the layers. Probably I don't have access here. Okay, this one have it. So what is this going on? Lightning strike, sending signal, broadcasting stuff. Okay. Okay, here we have it. We have a chart probably generated when I was building the workspace and installing the market, or I don't know when, but we don't care about this one. This is the one that we care about because it's the lightning strike sending signals, my session, computer, whatever. Okay, so this is our guy. So we know that the backtest happened the 1st of September 2020, so that's what we're going to expand, and go to 1 minute here. Okay, so once there, episode, yeah, that looks fine. Strategies, we will remove this. We were working with limit orders. Okay, everything looks fine. So this looks like very much that it ran as usual. This is what I would expect it to look like. Okay, so effectively we solved the problem where the strategy was not running. Let's check the second strategy. This is the receiving signals. Okay, candles, remove the lock here, look for 1st of September, got it, expand, and 1 minute. If we check the episode here, it's much smaller because it got stuck somewhere. So let's see what it did. Did it place orders? Yes or no? Limit by order? Wow, I'm surprised somehow. Remember that, well, I don't know if everything is wired correctly. I have to check, but it's supposed to place the orders based on the signals, but I'm not 100% sure that I have everything set up in the right way. But that's the purpose of this episode. We are going to check that everything is correctly wired and that we are actually acting upon the signals and not anything else. Okay, so that's what we're going to review now. Okay, so let's clean a little bit of these panels. The episode panels, we don't need this. Okay, so we are kind of good. I cannot expect this is going to work like the first time I run it. Okay, so what's going on here? Why is not stopping this? Just go and stop. Okay, so we're going to check here first the events. Okay, which are the conditions here? The condition says that if you receive a signal, you trigger on. So this worked because it triggered on. Then it says the same. If you receive a trigger off signal, trigger off. And if you receive a take position signal, take position. So all this is working. Trigger stage is working. Let's take a look at the others. Okay. Yes, now I remember that I only set up these first two formulas, so no wonder why things got broken later. So the first formula says that it's going to, if in the case there are many signals, receive of this type is going to take the last one value and is going to apply that, and that's it. Okay, so that probably worked also, because if you check the charts, it managed to go through the open, and here it closed the position, and let's get the stages here. Trigger stage, open stage, manage stage, and close stage. So it went all through the whole cycle, let's say, pretty well. Okay. So in these two formulas is taking the signal of the formula. What else? We had a closed stage event here, but that was only for defining. So this is okay, it's never going to happen, so we don't need to worry about it. Let's close it. When it places the signals, the buying signals, here is going to use the local indicator. So we are going to replace this also by the value of the signal received. Okay, so it needs to receive the signal, otherwise it's not going to be able to place this order. Okay, so okay, for the create order, what are we going to do? Here it says true. We're going to bring on the conditions that we use here at the trigger stage. So if there is a signal for this particular order, then it's going to create it. And exactly the same code we are going to use here in case we need to cancel the order. Okay. Remember that this order, or these events related to this order, are pointing to one specific order or order signal that we have defined at my profile here. This is open stage. So the open stage, we have limit cell order signals. Okay, so here I can have one or more than one signals representing one or more orders. Okay, in fact, at the close stage, there are already a lot of limit by orders. Okay, all of these are the limit by orders. So each order has, in my setup, an individual signal. Okay, so in particular, this one is thinking here with this guy. Open stage rate signal. Okay, so it's 100% individualized, which is cool. Okay, so all the formulas and conditions are covered here. Simulated stage, even this node is about stuff that happens when backtesting. We don't really care about this, at least that's what I believe so far. So we don't need also the close stage event, because this is not part of the lightning strike strategy at all. I just added in the previous episode to test that, or to define this type of signal. Okay, so we save here and we go to the manage stage. But before that, it looks like to me that everywhere I have a formula, I can use this code. So that's what I'm going to do. First with the close stage, And this formula, I'm going to replace it by this. This formula, replace it by this. And we have the initial targets cover. This event, I don't need it, but I need at each individual order to get the value from the signal and not from whatever is doing it now. So this is what I'm going to do. Every single one, replace it. Okay, so we have all the formulas there. We will check all the formulas in the manage stage. No more formulas here. We have only one phase of stop loss, only one phase of take profit. Okay, so that's it with the formulas. So all the formulas are going to come from signals. That's what we are saying. The next thing to do is to all the conditions that today most of them are true are going to come from signals. Only if we receive the signals we are going to trigger all that stuff. So on the open we have everything covered. Here trigger also. But inside here there are a few events. Move to the next phase. Okay, I'm not going to put anything here because I created this while I was setting up the incoming signal node, so I'm not going to delete it either because maybe I need it for testing later, but most likely there's nothing to do there. Exactly the same thing happened here. I don't need to change anything here. Here we have a create order and a cancel order event that probably have some logic, yes. We will take the signal for we will take the signal also to cancel an order, and we are canceling orders. So it's really going to test if all this is working or not. Okay. It's a little bit repetitive stuff. but it needs to be done. Two more. So by doing this, we are going to have the receiving signal strategy completely modified so as to act at each individual piece based on the signals received. Okay, that was the last one. Okay, I think we are done. Save this and to have better certainty that the output that we see is the one that of the last run, what I'm going to do in this case is to come here and to delete all the information all the information regarding the execution of the bot. So it's still there, but if I turn it off and turn it on again, there will be nothing. Okay, even the episode is not there, nothing is there. Okay, just to make myself sure that the execution that I will see is exactly the one that I'm going to run. It's probably going to refresh it, no problem, but I want to save some time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to run this again. I'm going to produce the signals again, but first run the task of the bot emitting the signals, run the other task, and wait for all this to get connected. What is going on here? Okay. Here we are. Both tasks are waiting for the bots to be run. That is exactly what we are going to do. We are going to run one. And a second later, we will run the second one. I don't really expect this to work well because there's nothing that guarantees synchronicity on this. I mean, remember that this is going at certain speed running and this is going at a certain speed. In fact, this one went through all the candles before that this one reached candle number 200. So for all the candles, for most of these candles that this guy ran into, there were no signals. So that could explain a lot why the chart is empty at some point, because the one receiving the signal is running much faster than the one emitting the signal. Um, maybe we should build a mechanism to synchronize them at which candle they are, to synchronize the simulation themselves. Even though this signal stuff is meant for being run live, but if you want to backtest this, it's going to be almost impossible if there is no synchronization. So maybe there is something missing, that is a synchronization mechanism to get both bots running on the same candle at the same time. So the one who is running should be telling, okay, now go to this candle, or now move to the next candle, so that you can see the signals that are related to that candle. I don't know, there is something there. Okay, both bots finish running. It seems that in the end there is some, okay, the crash is still there, so they are crashing in the end. I don't really know why, so there is a problem there that is crashing. I don't know if that crash prevents the bot for writing their outputs. Let's check. So here episode. Okay, so now there is nothing to see, apparently. There's nothing to see. Well, here we still have the information, but well, what I'm seeing is that the bot emitting the signals is not the one crashing, and it looks like the bot consuming the signals crash, because I cannot see any of the information that bot is supposed to output. Okay. So it seems that I will have to see what is going on here and why it is crashing. So again, it says condition of undefined. And this is going on in trading system 397. Trading system. Here. So it says that trading system is undefined, and yet it gets into here to eval conditions. So how do we deal with this? There is one place that we are putting trading system to be undefined. So there is a chance that this is executed, and then for some reason I don't understand, another condition is evaluated. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the second bot, the second trading bot, inside the Visual Studio Code. I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to stop it here. And check if after this is evaluating the condition again to see if I can get something out of that. That's the best idea I have so far. So let's do it. I will run the first bot outside as before, and the second one I will run inside Visual Studio Code. So this one goes with debug. We can let this guy run. So you run, and you also run. See how this is much more slower. It's so slow that it's slower than the other one, so this time it's not going to stop there. And probably it's going to run all through. It's going to be difficult to debug this stuff. Probably I should build a mechanism to synchronize both simulations. Otherwise, it's going to be really very difficult because it was crashing when this went faster. But if I debug it, then it goes slower. So it might crash or it might not crash. And if it doesn't crash, then how can I know what is wrong? Yeah, probably before spending energy trying to see what is going on, I gotta find a way to synchronize the simulations. The simulation is essentially the loop that happens to go from candle to candle. So if we are running a backtest over the course of one day in candles of 1 minute, then we have a simulation going on 1440 candles of 1 minute. Okay. Um, so it would make sense. Probably, probably I need, but there is no node called simulation or something like this at the trading system. But maybe the strategy should be able to emit a signal with information about the candle that is processing, and it can consume a signal that reads that candle and allow us to be sure not go forward or backwards in respect to the one who is emitting the signals. So yeah, I will have to do something like that. Probably that will not have a usage for live trading, but for backtesting and testing that everything is working, probably it is needed. Another thing that I'm thinking is that maybe the information about which candle we are standing at maybe should be part of the information of each individual signal too. That is a way that users can, for example, discard. I know we have the the timestamp, and by the timestamp you can also discard signals that are too old. But it could make sense to send which candle the signal broadcaster is standing at every single signal message in general. Okay, I can imagine the mechanism to synchronize. I'm not going to put it in every signal because um, I'm not sure that is needed, to be honest. Or maybe it is. Maybe it's good contextual information beyond the user-defined context. Maybe it's useful to know which candle. Maybe it's useful to know which candle we are standing at every single signal that is delivered. Um, okay, so I'm waiting for this process to run to see if we can have some hint over this crash. Let's check out the other process. Okay, this is good because we don't need the receiving process to crash. The other process also crashes, apparently in the same way. So the debugging of this is going to get simplified. Mm. The problem is that it takes quite a long time to get to the end of the candles to see it crash inside Visual Studio Code. Okay, something strange is going on here. I would like to know if the lightning strike strategy is crashing or not. Because if it's not crashing, that would mean that it's something related to the signal stuff itself. So one possible thing that I'm going to do is to execute the lightning strike and let it run and see if it crashes or not. But I'm just going to wait this one to finish to see if I can get the point where this crashes. I believe is that at the end of the day exactly. Let me go back here. Yes. What I will do is to go to the workspace of the getting started tutorials and run the lightning strike and see if it crashes or not. See the logs. If it crashes, then it's good because I'm going to debug that one that doesn't have any signals and it goes faster. If it doesn't crash, then that will give me a hint that the problem is related to or having signals at all. What happened here? This stop. It's just stop. Well, something is not good here. The process stopped. There is no record of why it stopped. It never hit the breakpoint. It doesn't look good for debugging this stuff. Okay. Okay, so this is like a little bit difficult to debug problem. We'll go to the other workspace first. To the getting started, where is it? Getting started tutorials. Well, this is really slow. I wonder if my machine is working well now. What is going on here? Something is not good. Wow, everything is extremely slow. Really very slow. Look at this. Well, okay, let's continue with the plan. The plan is to run this guy. Let's do it. Just run. Okay. We're also going to turn on this flag to see which candle we are at. And run. Well, the difference between not having signals and having signals is huge. Okay, good news. There is a problem that is not related to the signals that is causing this to fail here. Okay, so the good thing is that we're going to be able to debug it and don't have to wait like 5 minutes every time. So let's do that. Let's stop this task. We're going to stop this task and use one of these task manager. Probably number 2 is good to run the lightning strike strategy like without signals. So you can run. Running. And we have a breakpoint here where we put trading system in an undefined state. From there we will see what happens. Okay, debug. And run. Well, it's quite slow. Okay, I don't want to extend this episode so long with all these waiting periods. So what I'm going to do is to cut it here, and next time we see each other in the next episode, number 5, I think, number 6, I will have this problem already figured it out, and I will give you a hint of what happened, what was going on. Okay, so to recap, what we did today in this episode was to set the right formulas in conditions, set the right code to support multiple signals in conditions and formulas, and we start running the both bots and seeing what is the output they produce at the charts. Okay, and we overcame some obstacles there, but we discovered that there is a problem for verify that this is working well when both bots runs at different speed, we are observing that the bot emitting signal is very slow. There is a work to be done there to know why it's slow, if it is the digital signatures or what is going on. So there's some research to be done on that side. I don't see it like a huge problem because this strategy that I set up is like exaggerating sending signals for everything it does multiple times. Like at every candle sending signal every time it calculates every formula. So this is not the real scenario, but anyways, it would be good to know which is what we are doing now is causing these delays. So that's something to to pay attention to. Um, and well, so I guess next steps from here are fixing this problem because it seems that it's even unrelated to signals. Once I fix this problem, I'm going to update the develop branch because maybe this is a problem that more users are going to be suffering from. And once that is done, in the next episode, maybe we research a little bit why this is not going faster, and maybe we build a mechanism to synchronize the simulations via signals so that the bots can run together at the same time, and they consume the one who is consuming the signals consume the signals belonging to a certain candle specifically. Okay, so yeah, now that I think about it, it really makes a lot of sense. And maybe there is a synchronization needed not only at the simulation level, but probably maybe I want to consume the signals only belonging to a certain candle. So if I'm standing in candle 1, I want to consume the signals related to candle 1 and not to candle 2 or to candle 0. Um, I don't know if in practice, in live trading, that is possible because maybe one emitting the signal in candle 1, yeah, the simulation on the other side maybe it's not synchronized in real time, but if it can be synchronized in candles and only consume the signals belonging to a certain candle. That makes sense. So probably the way we are storing the signals is not good enough. Probably we have to store it by candle and by the ID of the signal definition node. Okay, we will think about this and put it to work in the next session. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. See you next time, and hope you enjoyed and continue following this series. You're going to learn a lot about super algos while doing it. So see you next time, man.